and welcome to lesson 3 of our MotorBont task. And in today's session we are going to be looking at a topic called data representation. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think, how does a computer store data? So just have a think of that. How do you think computers store data? I'm going to give you a few moments just to have a quick think about that. Now, before I go through answers, some of you might have said things like, well, computers store data on things like SD cards, or maybe memory sticks, these little USB drives, or maybe you said, well, it just stores it on the computer. Well, the computer got components inside it, and we'll go through those in another lesson. But what I'm trying to do is get you to really think of the really intricate parts of a computer. So how does it work? Well, computers store data and they use a system called binary, okay? And these digits are basically zeros and ones. Now, this could be used to store anything, a piece of text, audio, video. So although we will see something on the screen, the computer just sees a load of zeros and ones. So it's represented by a 0 and a 1, and we call that a binary number, because basically there's only two possibilities, a 0 and a 1. Now, inside a computer's processor, which is like the brain of a computer, there's billions of what we call transistors. And a transistor is a switch. And if you think of a switch like a light switch, it's either on or off. And that really is what the digits in binary represent. A 1 is on and a 0 is off. Now, I'm going to give you a little image here for a moment, right? And this image, if I just annotate it very, very carefully. So this image here, we've got a mouse and a keyboard over here. So we've got a mouse and a keyboard over there. And these are known as inputs or input devices. And they will allow us input things into a computer. So we can type, we can move our mouse, we can click on things. Now the computer, the brain, translates all of those things into something that it understands. It transfers it into binary code, and then if we wanted to print it out, it'll translate it back again then into something that we understand. So something that a printer will understand, and then obviously the printer will print something out for us, or maybe the monitor will show us something as well. Now what you've got to remember is we cannot really read binary that efficiently. We can do it, and I'm going to teach you today. We're going to convert numbers. We're going to convert binary into numbers, and we're going to convert numbers back into binary. And it's just a simple process that we go through. But what I want you to basically understand from this is quite simple. The computer thinks and stores in binary. We don't think and store in binary. We use normal sort of keys in the keyboard, and we use normal numbers, and we use a number system. Our number system we use is called denary. Now you might have seen images like this here, where we've got loads of zeros and ones. They are meaningless to us, but the computer actually understands that. So as I've said to you earlier, audio, any images and characters, so things like A, B, C, D, they all look like binary numbers to a machine, to a computer. But they're all encoded in a different way. So for example, this here, this number 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 could be the number 65, and in fact we'll probably look at that later on and we'll see if that number actually is 65. Now what we are going to look at doing is converting our binary digits into what we call denary digits, and we're going to do it vice versa. So our number system we use is sometimes referred to as a decimal system. Now I'm going to call it today a denary system, right? But just understand, when you are taught maths, you are taught about place value and you're taught about point so and so, I'm going to call it a denary value, but decimal is also what we know it as. When you write something down, if I wanted to write the number, let me get my pen again, if I wanted to write the number 100 down, tell you what, I'm just going to change it to my normal one. So if I wanted to write the number 100 down, I'd write 100 down. I understand what that is, but to a computer, that could be something completely different. And we're going to look now in a moment at how do we convert between these two number systems. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to ask you to pause the video in a moment. There's a process which we are going to follow, which I'm going to teach you. But in order to do this task, you are going to need two things. You're going to need a few pieces of paper, right? Blank paper or lined paper, doesn't matter. And you're going to need a pen or a pencil, your choice. But you need something to write with, and you are going to need something to write on. So pause the video now and grab a few sheets of blank paper or lined paper and get a pen or a pencil, please. This is going to work. This lesson is ever so slightly different to some of your other lessons. As you're already watching this video, you can see this. The PowerPoint that I've just been through is underneath here, and the tasks that you will need to complete are directly underneath. Now, when you click into one of these tasks, you will see an option which says Attempt Quiz Now. When you click on Attempt Quiz Now, it will show you a quick demonstration video. Please watch the video, and that's where you're going to need your piece of paper and pen, because you are then going to be attempting some of the quiz questions underneath. Once you are done, you submit the quiz, and then when you go back to this main page, what you will then start is the next task there. And as I've already said, if you complete task 1 and 2 and there's still time in the lesson, I'd like you then to go on to the extension task.